Venice Commission has unveiled the agenda of meetings that its experts will attend while on official visit to Tirana over September 11 and 12 to draft an opinion on the President's powers regarding the electoral process. President Ilir Meta took to Facebook today to remind citizens that back in 2008, when he was in charge of the SMI, he was against amendments to the Constitution signed by Sali Berisha and Edi Rama. Electoral reform is likely to take place in cooperation with the extra-parliamentary opposition, with Talon Bala declaring from Elbasan that the 2021 elections will be held with a new electoral code. It's 6 o'clock on Saturday, the 7th of September 2019. Good evening and thank you for tuning in to RTV Aura's Weekend English edition. My name is Alexandra, bringing you the only daily update of the local Albanian news translated into English. On Tuesday, the Venice Commission will land in Tirana for a fact-finding and consultative two-day visit regarding the reasons for the proposal to dismiss President Ilir Meta. The Commission has published the agenda of meetings that the delegation's experts will hold in preparation of an opinion on the powers that the President has in the electoral process. The European experts are scheduled to meet in Parliament with representatives of the majority and the parliamentary opposition. There will also be meetings with the President, Prime Minister, Minister of Interior and representatives of the Central Election Commission. Whilst the European legal experts have included the officially mandated parliamentary opposition on its agenda, it remains unclear if they will meet with the Democratic Party or the Socialist Movement for Integration. The visit by the Venice Commission to Tirana is expected the day after the head of state will sit before lawmakers in the Assembly to be questioned by the investigative commission set up to dismiss him. The opinion of the Venice Commission was requested by the Albanian Assembly in a letter directed to the European institution regarding if the President has violated the Constitution with the decree of the cancellation of June 30. In a letter signed by Parliament Speaker Gramos Rucci, the Venice Commission has been asked for their opinion on 8 constitutional issues, mainly on the role the President has in relation to electoral processes. Following the visit to Tirana, experts from the Venice Commission are expected to draft a preliminary opinion, while the final opinion will be approved on October 12th. The Socialist Movement for Integration yesterday celebrated the 15th anniversary since its creation. The political force convened at the Congress building to celebrate the event, with the SMI leader Monika Kuremardi giving a speech in which she said the restoration of confidence in the Albanian people remains a top priority. Kuremardi stressed that the SMI has escaped unprincipled strikes aimed at their political elimination and stressed that the SMI's mission is to turn the left into rails. The 15th anniversary of the SMI coincides with the 75th anniversary of the liberation of the homeland. There is no force that stops us. Our primary concern is the return of trust to the Albanian citizens, stated Kuremardi. On the 15th anniversary of the establishment of the Socialist Movement for Integration, leader Monika Kuremardi said that the opposition today is out of parliament because the system built by Prime Minister Rama does not allow debate, as would happen in any democratic country. We are not in Parliament because Edi Rama's criminal and oligarchic system does not allow for valuable debate, such as is required to happen in a democratic country. We have done our best to dismantle this ruling clique. In this day and age, it's impossible to agree to be part of a facade of a government dominated by the paranoid desires of a Prime Minister tied with organised crime. We have strongly protested. We have also been able to convince skeptics that any form of protest is a way of removing a stone from the mafia foundation of the Rama Renaissance government, said Kuremardi. She further said that the sooner the left wing is restored, the less time the fascist regime will have in power. In any case, the Speaker of the Assembly, Gramos Rucci, also joined the celebrations for the 15th anniversary of the creation of the political party, the Socialist Movement for Integration. President Meta reposted on Facebook today a statement made 11 years prior, at a time when he was the chair of the SMI, that he was against and would never accept the constitutional changes proposed in 2008 and signed by Sali Berisha and Edi Rama. We can never accept and will not compromise deliberate assassination attempts of April 21 because for us the principle of separation of powers is sacred and vital. It is the dividing line between democracy and dictatorship, writes Meta in a post accompanying the video of one of the rallies at that time. The founder of the Socialist Movement for Integration, current President Ilir Meta, was not present at the 15th anniversary celebrations in order to ensure he did not become the target of media attacks. Meanwhile, in statements and press conferences, the head of state has often declared that the current current political and institutional crises in the country are a direct result of these constitutional changes signed in 2008 by Sali Berisha and Edi Rama. Albania will be at the centre of Bundestag discussions next week. Before deciding whether or not to open negotiations with Albania, Berlin will officially host Prime Minister Edi Rama for consultations. According to Deutsche Welle's sources, Rama is expected to arrive in Berlin on September 13 to meet with the CDU and CSU MPs, and mainly with the Christian Democrats and the Christian Social Democrats of the Western Balkans Working Group. Deutsche Welle wrote that a large proportion of German MPs will say yes with conditions to Albania, while a small but strong minority will oppose this position. The sources said that clarifying the legality of the June 30th local elections and allegations of vote buying in some areas will be added to the list of predetermined conditions Albania must meet. If the parties manage to unify their positions, it is expected that it will be voted on at the Bundestag plenary session scheduled for September 27. More and more signals are being raised about sitting at a table to discuss the electoral reform by those on the outside of the parliamentary opposition. Speaking at the Socialist Party Assembly meeting in Elbasan, the chair of the Socialist Parliamentary Group, Talont Balla, said the 2021 elections will be held with a new electoral code to be prepared by the parliamentary opposition, even those outside the parliament. According to him, the objective will be the realisation of stronger processes on communication and organisation and the opening of the SP within the electorate through national debate, not limited by party affiliations. The Democratic Party has sent another request to the prosecution regarding the case of Vora's mayor, Agim Kaimaku. Via a letter signed by Guzman Bardhi and sent to the US Embassy and the EU delegation, the Democratic Party seeks to know every prosecution action from the date of its submission of the verification request on 20 August up until the 5th of September. Make available to us all of the complete documentation contained in the file, compiled or administered by the prosecution body from the time of the receipt of the request until the 5th of September 2019, regarding the administrative investigation of the figure of Agim Kaimaku, alias Yorgo Toto, candidate for mayor of Vora, reads the letter. The DP letter states that the prosecution lied that Kaimaku had not yet received the fingerprint verification notification. According to the Democratic Party, the prosecution's statements were disputed by the Post Office, which says that the fingerprint submission notice was handed over to Agim Kaimaku in Vora municipality on August 29. For this reason, we also seek formal evidence-based responses to the unlawful justification you make to the subject's refusal to submit, and to the reasons why the sanction from Article 8 of the decriminalisation law provided by the prosecution has not been enforced, stated the letter. Secretary-General Guzman Bardhi expresses the Democratic Party's conviction that any violation of the law by the prosecution on this matter would further highlight the fact that today the General Prosecution, under the direction of Arta Marcu, has become a crime protection cell. The inability to pursue higher education at university because of the required grade average, as well as the intention to integrate more rapidly into the labour market, has increased youth interest in vocational education. A food technology program will be offered to students this year at the Colin Joka High School in Leisure. Director Bard Dejonai says that in the first week of enrolment, only 100 students have been accepted, while the most preferred branch is in tourism. The school dormitory will also be reconstructed this academic year in order to provide better conditions for students. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join us again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of RTV Aura, thank you and have a lovely weekend.